evening, night, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. Welcome to the AC Show, the coolest show on YouTube. I am Aaron, aka the Handy Outdoor Nerd, and this gentleman over here is.
I'm Chris, aka MrCarrellScience, and I have 2 cavities. Throwing that personal information out there, in case you guys are curious. Went to the dentist 2 days ago.
There you go. Eat more sugar.
Well, you know that what is it? The fluffy cloud spun sugar. What is that?
Cotton candy.
Cotton candy. You know that's created by a dentist, right? It was invented by a dentist, and it was originally called candy floss. That's true story. That's true story.
And he goes, "The world is over. You started on time. Get out of bed, you lazy bum."
Woke up,
yes, we did.
got out
We
of
started
bed,
on time.
dragged the comb across my head.
Well, really, I'm just breaking my fingers through my hair, really.
You don't know. I mean, it's a Beatles song. Don't worry about getting demonetized or anything, or getting copyright claims, because nobody's gonna recognize that with my voice. So, hey, Josh, Alien 3D. Hey, Josh, listen. Today happens to be episode 51, and we were like Area 51. We were like, man, we should have thought about this, and we should have got Josh on today's episode. So I'm sorry we didn't contact you, but we're glad to have you here.
Maybe we can have him for Area 52, because we know that's where all the good stuff is.
Area 52, so secret nobody even knows about it.
Everyone's all, Area 51. Oh, the stuff's at Area 52.
I had this idea for a TikTok video where I was going to pretend to storm Area 51, and inside there was going to be like a gift shop and guided tours and stuff.
That's funny.
Ransom Makes, how are you today?
How's it going?
Great to have you. Area 52, World of Warcraft zone. 15 years ago, I knew a dentist who told me about a bacteria designed to replace the bacteria in your mouth that causes cavities. It killed off the bacteria that caused cavities too. Maybe the guy who created the bacteria that killed the bad bacteria got taken to Area 52.
Bum, bum, bum.
Cavities are too big of money makers. It's a conspiracy by the Dental Association of America. It's got to be it.
So how was everybody last week? I know Chris didn't have the show last week, so Eddie must have been going through withdrawals.
Yeah, last week, to not go into too much detail, I've been real tired lately, and it was nice to just kind of kick back and watch a movie with my family. Been working a lot. My wife's been working a lot, and so I needed to take a little bit of a break. I'm sorry we didn't do a show last week.
I was fishing.
I promise I'll be better. Aaron went fishing.
Look at all them trout.
I should have gone fishing too. Dang.
I also went fishing the other day and caught a bass here. So.
Did you slap that bass?
Actually, it was slapping the bass itself. Oh, I I'm going to send this to you real quick just because it's hilarious.
Eddie said, I had to yell at my kids instead of you guys. We didn't have a stream last week.
Well,
Dang
I did
it.
see you say something, Eddie, about not having the show or being late again or whatever because Chris wasn't there.
Sorry, Eddie. Yeah, well, I bet especially now that you got your resin boy. How's it been printing lately?
This week not at all. I've been busy.
SLA.
I printed last week. Slaying it up.
I still remember that video that Maker's Muse did a couple years ago that was called SLAing it. And it was about SLA 3D printing.
Let's see that.
One day I'll get a resin printer, I'm sure, eventually. You have a place to put it. Who was it that was showing us that printer that had was it Joe Larson that was showing off that printer that's got the curing station and the washing station all built into the same chamber? You didn't see that?
Joe Larson doesn't have it. No, Joe doesn't do anything with resin printers.
Right, but he was saying that he doesn't do anything with resin printers because he was hesitant about the resin because it was dangerous, and he was saying he would only get a resin printer if it was like this. And he showed a picture of a printer that had an automatic resin filling station, so you could fill and remove the resin from the printer with push of a button, and then it also had a washing and curing station all in the same enclosure, so that you never had to take the uncured resin out of the printer. So you never had uncured resin leave the printer. So it was like supposed to be safer for kids and stuff. I think he was critical of the design because it wasn't perfect, but he was talking about how it was on the right track.
No idea.
Well, I might look it up then because I thought that was a pretty cool idea, but Eddie apparently does not believe. Eddie is not a believer.
It says China can barely make them work on their own. You think they can make them work together? I believe that.
Did you guys happen to see that BuildTech responded to one of my tweets the other day? And they responded so quickly. It was so funny. So Calvin, if you guys don't know who Calvin is, Calvin Witt, he's got a YouTube channel, a small one called Make It with Calvin, 3,000 times bigger than my channel. But he the other day was having a conniption because somebody put painter's tape over the top of like a Wham Bam flex plate or something like that. Like they put painter's tape on top of it, and he was having this really, really hard time with it. I've got a really old BuildTech sheet that's got dings and scratches and scrapes and chunks taken out and everything, and I need to replace it. I just couldn't afford it, and I was having some issues with adhesion. And so the other day, because I wanted to print something out, and I was at school, I was teaching, I didn't want to have to worry about trying to tune it or figure it out or whatever. So I just put down some painter's tape and some glue stick, and I printed, and I put it right on top of my BuildTech. And then I took a picture of the painter's tape and glue stick, and I posted it, and I tagged Calvin and BuildTech in the tweet, and it was like less than a minute later, BuildTech was like, "Chris, you don't need to do this. Wait, let's talk about this. There's something wrong. You're making us look bad, man."
That's funny.
They were like instantly. They were. I wasn't trying to make their brand sound bad or anything. I've never really been well. I've never really been well. Had an easy time with BuildTech. I've always had adhesion issues with it, where I put it down and everybody says you have to keep your first layer a little bit higher than usual, or else it'll stick too well. I never really had issues with stuff sticking too well. I always had issues with stuff falling off, and so the layer heights that I was being told to use by other people never really worked, so I always had to make it a lot closer. So BuildTech might be obsolete. There's some other things. I really like the idea of a textured steel flex plate, textured spring steel. I think that's a really cool idea. I'd like to get a system like that for my printers, but I'm on the budget end of 3D printing, where I can only do the cheapest of the cheap, and so it's really hard for me to commit to purchasing something that costs more than a BuildTech. Powder coated PEI works too well to justify it. GeckoTech. I've heard of GeckoTech, and I've wanted to try some of their stuff too, but again, it's just one of those things where you gotta have the money to do it. That's why I still have that BuildTech sheet. It's been on there for probably 2 years, and I just haven't had the money to really invest in replacing it. I really wanted BuildTech to work, but I also think that part of my problem is probably because I'm using a Creality Ender 3, and I think that my build plate is actually like, what do you call it when it's like bows down in the middle?
Bowed.
I think it bows in the middle. It sags in the middle, and so I have a hard time getting stuff to stick because I can't level my build plate properly. Because if it's level at the corners, it's not level in the middle, and it's been a problem. I'm thinking maybe I should just get a piece of glass for it. Just go to my local glass shop and just get some glass for it. But I've always thought that having a piece of glass and like using the little binder clips to clip it onto the print bed, the heat bed, I've always thought that was a little tacky. Pardon the pun. That was the adhesion pun. It's tacky, but get the glass off my CR10 before I took it apart. Has print bite on it. Still have it on the flip side of my magnetic plate. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to try some different things. I'd be interested in seeing some sort of a side-by-side comparison, but I think if you have your first layer dialed in on whatever build surface you have, then I think that it's, generally you get pretty good results no matter what. I think what I really would be interested in is a side-by-side comparison of printer bed surfaces that we really need to design a test on forgiveness. Does that make sense? Like, how forgivable is that surface? If you're a little bit high or a little bit low, does it still release? And then is it better to use some sort of adhesive like a 3D gloop or something like that? Or even, because something that I really like about glue stick, and one reason why I still sometimes use glue stick and painter's tape, is because the glue stick adds a little bit of forgiveness. If you're too close, the glue stick will either scrape out of the way so that it doesn't cause issues with your actual print, or it actually will add almost like a lubricated system so that it makes it easier to remove the piece once it's been put on. Or if you're a little bit too far away, the glue stick adds that little bit of extra height to help keep your adhesion really, really solid. So I would be really interested in a side-by-side comparison of forgivability, I guess. We need to come up with some sort of a forgiveness test on 3D printing surfaces. I don't know.
That sounds like a decent idea to do.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Josh. He says, I don't like glue for bed adhesion. I like it for part adhesion. And I wholeheartedly agree with you, but I know they have what's that stuff? The nano something? Josh, I got it in an Alien 3D, a UFO box one time, was some nano stuff. Some nano stuff that you put on the print bed, and it's supposed to help with adhesion. I can't remember what it was called, though. But Magigoo is good, too. I would like to see... I don't know. I just need like $1 million. Can somebody just send me $1 million worth of all these different bed adhesion types, and we'll just try them all out? That'd be a good topic for an AC show one time.
I can see that.
Oh, nano is just the sample size of the gloop. I'm pretty sure that I have something. Maybe it's not called nano, but I'm pretty sure that I got something in my UFO box that was meant for print adhesion, but it wasn't gloop. It was something else. But maybe I'm mistaken. I make mistakes a lot, so. I'm a print bed purist. Level properly in ISO cleaning. I agree with you. 100%. But I work with mainly just low budget stuff. Diamond nano stuff. Yes. I think you're on the right track, Josh. Yes. No, Teresa, I'm wholeheartedly with you. If you can get your print bed leveled perfectly and you get that perfect first layer, 100% agree with you. But I work with just really, really low quality printers, including my robo printers that the school has bought and paid for. I have these 2 robo printers that have different types of build. I've tried like build tack, and I've tried these little painter's tape things or whatever, but they're tilted. The print bed's pretty tilted. Vision Miner. Josh is saying Vision Miner is the nano diamond stuff. I've never used it, but I remember getting it in one of those subscription boxes. You know what? Maybe I should just go through my old subscription boxes and just use the stuff that I have, because I think I have a build tech sheet. I have that nano stuff. I have 3D. I have some 3D gloop, and I think I also have a sample of Magigoo. The best way to get correct bed adhesion on a robo is to throw the printer in the dumpster. Well, my school spent $1,600 on those robo printers that don't work, Eddie, so I got to find a way to get it to work.
Yeah.
If the Y carriage is dirt, maybe sort that out. Well, because it's a Core XY style printer, and so the build plate is attached to the Z, and it's only attached at the back, and there's nothing at the front to help level it. And so if it's tilted slightly, and then the X and Y, I mean, I guess I could purposely derp the X and Y to match it, but I really don't want to have to go through that trouble. Vision Miner nanopolymer adhesive. I knew, yes, that is it. Josh, that's exactly it. I knew that I had something like that. I do have that. If I went and looked through my stuff, I'm sure I'd find it. That's exactly what I have. I should test out all these products and see what I can figure out. Oh, Eddie's saying that the Vision Miner stuff is what he posted. DVB, how we doing? Show's going all right. We're talking about bed adhesion and how when the alarm goes off in the morning, I am adhered to my bed perfectly. They need to make an Egyptian cotton bed adherent. And then
So
for sure, my
do
friend's
you
putting
know who
on.
that person? Do you know who that person is, Chris?
I do not.
That more likely my dad.
Oh, hey, I see the initials. Mr. Van Black.
Ah,
Let me tell you some
I was
stories
like,
about your son.
either that's my brother David or my dad. I'm pretty sure it's my dad.
Well, it's a pleasure having you here on the stream. We've been talking about Newton's laws of motion in my classes right now. And we've been saying, an object in motion stays in motion, an object at rest stays at rest. And I'm like, that's why as middle schoolers, at nighttime, you never want to go to bed because you're in motion and you want to stay in motion. And then in the morning, you don't want to get out of bed because you're at rest and you want to stay at rest.
Sounds about right.
That's the way I feel. Eddie. Oh, how do you put up with this?
That's funny.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Hevo. Eddie, is that Core XY that you're building from scratch?
It might be. It might be what he's building from scratch.
We need to get Eddie on to talk about it. Welbot. What does it mean to sleep slowly? Can anybody tell me what it means to sleep? What does it mean to sleep slowly? Everyone's always fast asleep. Nobody's like slow asleep. Eddie, isn't it like noon in Australia? That's funny.
Hypercube evolution is what Eddie says.
Oh, the hypercube. Yeah. Well, Bot, I'm glad you got a little bit of sleep. If you need to go back to sleep, don't feel obligated to be here. Although I am still waiting for you to write us that theme song. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. You got Venmo. I'll pay you for a theme song. I want a theme song. It doesn't have to be very long, even. 30 seconds, a minute, something we can play at the beginning of all of our shows. Just saying. Wonderful business opportunity. It's not going to be lucrative for either one of us. Oh, that's right. A 300 by 300 Core XY that uses a Railcore Mini. He wants to use the Railcore on a big Core XY. Yeah.
You see that?
Barbecue. I've been sleeping all night. Oh man, slept all night. Got up at 1:20 in the afternoon. There you go. I respect it, Garth. I do. I respect it. What about like a bunch of days where you just feel kind of okay?
I apparently was really, really tired and fell asleep around 8:30. I fell asleep and woke up around almost 9:40.
Nice.
I was like, oh, wait. That's what working overnights does to a body sometimes. It just...
You know, Aaron, you know what would be really, really cool? If
to not work
we just
overnight?
if we got some really fun clips from the AC show and we auto-tuned them with like some sort of dubstep remix. Like you know how they do the what is that YouTube channel Schmo Yoho where they do the songify this. You ever seen those?
Nope.
Are you serious, man?
Yeah.
You never seen like the Apparently Kid where he's like apparently I've never been on live television before and apparently
I've seen them. I've watched that, yeah, but I don't.
Yeah, and then they
stuff
do
up.
they did the Apparently Kid song where they auto-tune the kid's voice and they made like a whole song with the clip.
Can't say that I.
Don't worry, Aaron. I'll send you a link. All right.
I did. I've seen the Hide Your Kids, Hide Your Wives one.
Yeah. You know the song Hide Your Kids, Hide Your Wives. Yeah. It's that same YouTube channel. That's Gregory Brothers channel. Teresa, are you saying that the guys who run that channel are the Gregory Brothers? I just didn't know that. I know that the name of the channel is Schmo Yo Ho. And they do like the songify ones, and I think they partner with the bad lip reading people a lot.
No idea.
It's fun. You know bad lip readings.
Of course I do.
Okay. I was gonna say we're living in a strange world, Aaron, if you don't know what that is. Yeah. Teresa says that's what she's talking about. That would be pretty epic though. Although you'd have to find exciting parts to our AC show. I mean, you gotta put in Thick Thon somewhere. Like that's a must. It's gotta be in there somewhere.
That's funny.
Well, I got a couple things that I can show off if you want to pop my screen up. But you got to tell me when you pop it up because I can't see.
Good to go.
Okay, so my father-in-law uses an epilogue laser. And so I've been working on trying to figure out how to laser stuff. It's not something that I know how to do, and so it's a new skill I'm learning how to do, how to use a laser. And so I've been working with Joe Larson, 3D printing professor, because he talks about he does some laser stuff at the makerspace that he works at, and he was helping me through a few things, but his laser is different. So what I learned about the epilogue lasers is that you take there we go. You take your objects and you have to change the line width to like 0.001 inches. And so 0.001, anything thicker than 0.001 inches is going to engrave, and then 0.001 inches will cut. And so I'm learning a little bit how to do that. So that's been my project for this week. And then I'm also learning how to, so this is another thing that I made for my father-in-law, where he's got an so he's an eye doctor, and at his eye doctor's office they have this camera that takes pictures of the inside of your eye, like it uses your eye as a lens, and it takes pictures on the inside to look for different types of like different diseases and stuff from inside the eye. So he was he was asking me if I could build a stand for his camera, and so I did. And the cool thing that I wanted to show you guys is like, so I actually put in this circle right here, I put a 0.2 millimeter thick block so that it would print, and then the circle part could print on top of it. So I put a 0.2 millimeter thick block here so that as it's printing, you know, and it goes through the process, it'll print a solid layer here, and then it prints the circle on top of it so that it doesn't need any support material for the round circle part. I saw that trick on like a 3D Maker Noob video, I think, one day. And it has embedded nuts so that so it can tighten up on this little rod that goes through the middle. Yes, Eddie, it's Tinkercad. I know. But anyways, that's what I've been working on this last week, is making that little stand for his camera, and I'm learning how to use a laser. I actually cut a couple of those little ornaments, but the settings weren't super great, and so they may or may not be black as charcoal. But it's a step in the right direction. I'm learning.
That's funny. May or may not be black as charcoal.
Well, yeah, it's black as charcoal. One of them is worse than the other. but I'm getting there. I'm learning.
That's how it goes.
What have
yes.
What have you been working on, Aaron?
This week, nothing. It's been rainy, cold. It's actually quite chilly in here, so I actually got the heater going.
It is 95 degrees at my house.
It is 41 degrees right now. It feels like 34. We've got 75% humidity and 12-mile-an-hour wind.
Eddie says that he deleted his comment about Tinkercad because he felt bad making fun of me for Tinkercad. So you know, Eddie, I have really struggled trying to learn Fusion 360, and I really want to get better at it because I know it's a really powerful tool, but I use Tinkercad so often with my students that it's almost to the point where I'm getting some simple designs. I've just gotten so much better at doing it in Tinkercad. The one thing that I miss about using Fusion 360, and one reason why I don't use it very often, is because I have it on my other laptop and I have it on my desktop computer, and I don't have a copy of it on this computer, my new laptop I just got. And I can't put it on here because Autodesk says that I have too many things attached to it or something. And now,
yeah, you'll just need to go in and clean it.
With the new changes to Fusion 360, I'm not sure what that's going to mean for me trying to put it on this computer anyways. So I have been using Tinkercad a lot, but it's because I use it with my students a lot, and so I'm just getting better at it, I guess. Michael, how you doing? It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Now I need to test. I tested it some by just adhering regular 3D printed part and a resin printed part with glue, and while it didn't stay stuck to it.
Is that your new model that you're designing for the hospital?
This is something else. This is part of my model that I've been testing.
AutoDrop 3D. I have not tried FreeCAD. I did download Blender, and I saw the modeling side of it. I saw the modeling side of it where that was almost like an additive modeling thing. But I've not really I've not watched. I need to go through and watch Joe Larson's tutorials on Blender so I can learn it a little bit better. But no, I've not tried FreeCAD ever. Yeah, and Fusion 360 I just haven't really used very often because I've been using my new laptop for most everything, and I just don't have Fusion on here. So
Yeah, see, normal people are not going to notice the difference in Fusion if you just do 3D printing. If you do CNC stuff with it, is a different story. So,
well, so Blender is sculpting primarily, but it does have some CAD features to it. Like you can auto size regular polygons, and so you can turn it into a CAD like software, but it is a little more complicated. You're right. It is primarily a sculpting tool, and that
yeah,
means
it's
that
more organic modeling.
you have to be good at art stuff, and I'm good at math stuff and not art stuff, so it's not easy
I
for
mean,
me.
Blender is what I started on for stuff. So, but I wasn't doing 3D modeling for making things. I was doing organic modeling whenever I started. So
Eddie's saying CNC works the same as it used to. It's just you have to pay for it now.
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're not gonna see a difference with normally if you're just 3D printing, but if you're going to be doing CNC, then that's whenever you're going to notice the difference of I got to pay for this. So
Eddie is saying Onshape, Auto Drop 3D is saying Solve Space, Sculpt GL, Auto Drop saying, and then I've heard of ZBrush too, but those are all sculpting tools,
ZBrush
right?
costs. ZBrush costs, I'm pretty sure.
Well, but
And
he's saying
yes, ZBrush is a sculpting.
GL. He's saying Sculpt GL is free and is kind of like ZBrush.
Okay. Yeah, ZBrush is expensive.
And Eddie said Dustin made him want to try Onshape. I don't know who Dustin is.
So
My world's too small. Only if you want more than 3-axis stuff for CNC, though. Welbot saying 3-axis CNC is still free, so that's cool. I'm not. Maybe I'm not quite smart enough just yet to be able to do more than 3-axis stuff with the CNC. Anyways, my father-in-law just got a CNC machine. He got like a big 8-foot by 8-foot CNC machine. It's like
nice.
Monster. Yeah. So Eddie says Onshape looks similar to SolidWorks. Yeah, AutoDrop 3D says same thing.
So
Welbot is saying Dustin is Jatman.
Okay, yeah, Dustin Jatman. Jack of all trades, master of none.
I didn't realize that. Oh, I see. Okay. With the Twitter handles, it's hard for me to know people's names, unless I've talked to them in person.
Yeah, Dustin back when he was doing more of the YouTube stuff before he did more of the Twitch side, he actually got a Tico sent from Tico.
Oh, so AutoDrop 3D is saying that SolidWorks, the people who made SolidWorks made Onshape after they sold SolidWorks. Yeah, Eddie, so my father-in-law has these tools that he wants to make his own cabinets and countertops and stuff with it. He's just not sure. He's just not sure how it all works, and so I'm actually going to work with Calvin to see if he can show me some CNC stuff, because that's what he does right now for his job, is he runs CNC machines.
CNCs.
And so I'm gonna work with Calvin and see if he can help me figure out how it works. But it's kind of like a kit. He bought it from California and they ship it here with all the extrusions and stuff. And so we got to put it together and build it. And then after we do that, then we got to figure it out. But I got to finish remodeling his office first before we can get that far. So he's gonna make his own custom cabinets and cabinet doors with it.
Nice.
So it'd be pretty cool. Should be awesome.
Oh yeah. Definitely should be.
Yeah, I've been trying to learn how to use all of his tools because he's not sure how a lot of them function. And so I've been trying to figure out how they work for him so I can go and use them. He tries to help me, but he just doesn't have a lot of experience. He got his laser so that he could engrave initials onto glasses. Because he goes and does eye exams on the Native American reservations here in Arizona. So he goes and does eye exams there, and then he finds cheap glasses for the kids that live on the reservation that don't have a lot of money. And then he uses them to laser their names and initials and stuff on the frames, so that when he gives it to them, they don't read them as easy. Hey, yeah. Kathy, how you doing?
Hey, Kathy.
Can someone explain to me, because I hear this word a lot and I feel really dumb not knowing what it means, I guess. But what is parametric? Like when they say that something is a parametric model of something, what does that mean? I see that a lot on like Tinkercad, or not Tinkercad, on Thingiverse and stuff. Like parametric spool holder or something like that. And I don't know what that means. I might have to Google it.
I don't know.
I feel like I'm on Facebook
already. My brain. It's been so long. That seems more like an organic modeling reference. Parametric.
Let's see. Let's see. Oh, so parametric modeling. Parametric modeling is like modeling in Fusion 360 with parameters like when you change the dimensions of a sketch and it changes the overall shape of the object, whereas direct modeling is more like Blender. Whereas, yeah, so like if you design a wrench in Fusion 360 and then you need a wrench that's a different size, you can just go in to the model, to like the sketch, change the size of the hexagon, and then you got a wrench that's a different size. Whereas something like Blender is direct modeling because it's more like additive manufacturing. So Eddie's saying it's like the exact opposite of organic.
Organic. I woke up like just over an hour ago.
That makes sense, I guess. Because because then you could just go in and you could just change one dimension, one, one size of one thing, and that changes the entire model or whatever.
I can see that.
Or you can make a table and have it spit out all the variations for you. That would be interesting. Make one wrench and then put some parameters into a table, and then be able to then take that table and just print a wrench in every size. That'd be interesting. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to see that. Auto drop 3D. Is that something that is like a real thing? Because that would be awesome. I don't do much modeling. If you guys have seen Thick Thon, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We need to make sure that we get a picture of Thick Thon. So I'm telling you, Garth, if you are still here, all right, we need to make sure that we get a picture of Thick Thon to go with our theme music. I'm just saying. Oh, I see. And then you just import the values from the spreadsheet. That's really cool. I wish I were smart enough to be able to use something like that, because that would be really fancy. But I guess I've never really had a project that required that. Ah, that's smart. So Welbot says that he used that on his models so that you can change the printing tolerance so that you always have good tolerances no matter what. That's really cool. So you can just go in and change one value and it changes the tolerance for anything that is supposed to be moving or connected together or whatever. That's awesome. Welbot, a picture of Thick Thon, man. Thick Thon. We got to have a picture of Thick Thon. I don't know. I don't think I have a picture of Thick Thon on this laptop. So, if you guys don't know the story, if you're new to watching our streams or whatever, like over a year ago, we did a stream where it was one of our very first streams, and we wanted to design maker coins for each other. So Aaron made me this really sick maker coin, and I have a video on my YouTube channel that shows what the maker coin looks like and stuff. But I designed a maker coin for him, and I tried to do a picture of his face, and when I made the picture of his face, it looks a lot like Mr. T. And so I called it Thick Thon, like THICC Thon, the handy outdoor nerd. And so it looks pretty awesome. Oh yeah, don't worry, Welbot. I will. I'm just saying, if you wanted some inspiration for lyrics, Thick Thon's definitely a possibility. Hey honey, love you, and these kids too. My kid's crashing the stream.
Blink green.
Really?
Say, I'm going to bed. Good
Goodness.
night. Green. Come here. Goodbye. Bye.
Welbot remembers. Yeah. It was supposed to look like Aaron, but it definitely looked a lot like Mr. T. Love you guys.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh. Hey, honey, you remember those thick thongs?
That's funny.
I live in Arizona. That's why it's still 95 degrees outside. Actually, right now it's 71, so it has dropped. But this afternoon it was like 93 or something. Eddie's Houston. Welbot is Australia. Brisbane. Is it Brisbane? Is that how you say it? Brisbane.
Yep.
It's raining in Australia. What's the temperature right now where you're at, Aaron?
I told you it's in the 40s. It feels like it's in the 30s because of the wind and the humidity and the rain. All right, Chris. Are you ready for this?
So ready.
Bam!
Yeah,
There's
so
Chris's.
that's the really cool maker coin that Aaron made me. The really cool one. That I love it. I made a video on my YouTube channel about me printing it. I printed a small one. I printed a bigger one. And I printed
It's
it
got
on
the
really bad paper.
beakers. So he's got beakers for his coin. And then on the underside says MrCarrellScience.
It's pretty
So that
slick.
is his.
I really like it.
And I designed
fun
that in about 15 minutes. All 15 minutes.
Please tell me you have thick thon. Oh, please tell me you got thick thon. Oh, baby. Boom. Yeah.
Not only does it look like Mr. T, but it also looks like it could be an ashtray.
If Mr. T were an ashtray. Oh man, Eddie, this is why I use Tinkercad. All right, that right there is the reason why I use Tinkercad. All right. Oh boy, that looks just like you, Aaron. It looks just like you.
Oh my gosh.
That was pretty good likeness. Never mind the fact that you'd have to print it like 4 inches diameter in order for your printer to actually print that. I love the flat.
Not only did he do the coin part, but he also had another part on it as well. So it's huge.
Oh yeah. No chain. We got to add some chains to it.
Oh my gosh.
You could print that. Why does he look like he pities a fool? Because he does pity a fool. I pity a fool don't know how to use Fusion 360. I pity a fool that make Chris model and design something for them.
That was me. That was me that made you model it.
It was so yeah. So this is why it's kind of become a joke on our stream that if you want something to look ridiculous, you make me model it because I'm just not very good at it. And I'm trying and I'm learning. I'm just not very good. So I do basic shapes and designs.
I need to do a shirt. We could do merch.
Oh my god.
Merch.
Thick thon.
Thick thon.
I love it. I love it. You need to print this on your resin printer because this should have fine enough detail to be able to actually print something like this.
It probably would.
To be fair, that looks pretty good for someone that uses Legos to design. I mean, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, it's actually not that bad. It's not that bad, but it definitely looks more like Mr. T than it looks like Aaron.
It does not look like me at all.
Maybe it's just a bad choice in color because everything renders in gray in Fusion 360. Maybe that's what it is.
Unless you change. Well, you can change it.
You just need to
Change
change
the
the color,
material.
Aaron, that it looks less like Mr. T and looks more like you.
So, but yeah, you just go in and change the material for it. And it changes the color. I'll resin print it and post it. Yeah, Chris just needs to send you the. Well, actually, I can send it to you since I've got the link for this.
You know what?
Eddie, message me on Twitter your email and I'll send it to you.
But my thing is like I'm not even embarrassed by it. Like I'm proud of Thickthon. Like I love it. I know that it didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to look, but I am learning and I'm getting better, and I keep trying, and I've learned that I'm a lot better at math than I am at art, and so I make things like that little stand for that camera. I modeled that up in maybe 30 minutes or something in Tinkercad, and it worked first try. It's very easy geometric shapes, and it worked perfect. And so, I'm learning. I'm getting better at Fusion 360. I got a couple of little robots that I designed that I'm trying to get better at. The one thing that I don't like about Tinkercad is it's really difficult to measure things, like to be able to get things to be a specific size. Like if I want a hole to be exactly, like if I want the center of a hole to be exactly like 23 millimeters from the edge of another surface, it's really difficult to do that in Tinkercad because you have to like make a box and move it over exactly the right thing or whatever. I know, Eddie. Right. I know. I mean, it's not that bad, but it's definitely not great. It was one of those where, like, Eddie. It was one of those where, we gave each other like 20 minutes to try and model something up. And when we modeled up these maker coins, it was like, here's the big reveal. And instead of looking like Aaron, it looked like Mr. T. So.
All right. I sent it to you via Twitter, Eddie. So you should be able to download it. But yeah, there you
go. Hit D. You mean D in Tinkercad? Because I know that's dimension in Fusion. I can do that in Fusion. I can make things symmetrical and place. That's what I'm saying. That's my main complaint about Tinkercad is that it's really difficult to get holes to be in a specific location. So Isaac is trying to break down my door and get into my room again. But he's shouting, "Let me out." So now everybody on YouTube thinks that I have a small child locked in a room.
Locked in the closet. There you go.
Yep. When really he's trying to get in, not trying to get out. Promise, he's perfectly safe. Quiet in there, or you're not getting any dinner. I'll tighten those handcuffs. I don't know if you can hear him screaming, but yeah, who's really good with Tinkercad is Chuck Hellebuck. He does some amazing stuff on Tinkercad, and so does is it TK Turnkarn?
Yeah, TK.
He does all kinds of really cool stuff in Tinkercad, and Josh from JoshGotBored.
JoshGotBored.
JoshGotBored. He does some really cool stuff in Tinkercad too. He makes like really intricate like D&D models in Tinkercad. But Tinkercad breaks if you use too many polygons. That's another problem it has. But I use Tinkercad for just really basic stuff. Just really simple stuff that uses simple shapes. What is this? Oh, nice. Thanks for following me on Twitter, guys. Got a couple new followers. Look at
Oh, there you go.
that. Tinkercad.
So yeah, I literally need to. Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
You know,
I need to literally turn that into a shirt thick-thon.
Crasher Rocks on Twitter uses Tinkercad, Welbot says. I used to have that doll on the opposite wall. So if I'd wake up in the middle of the night and turn the light on, it would be the porcelain doll staring straight at my face. I one time woke up in the middle of the night and legit thought somebody was watching me. And I was like, what's going on? And my lamp was, I'll follow you back. Give me just a couple minutes, Michael. I'll follow you back for sure. And so I turned my lamp on. My lamp was one of those like desk lamps that like you angle it and you point it where you're working or whatever. And it was just pointed off to the side because my wife doesn't like it pointing at the bed. If I'm reading a book or something, it makes it hard for her to sleep if the lamp's pointing at her or whatever. And so I turned on my light in the middle of the night and it was like all dark and stuff. And I look around, turn on the light, and it was shining right on the doll's face. It was like right on the doll's face, lit up. Oh man, freaked me out. And that's when I moved the doll up there. So now it can kill me in my sleep even closer and I won't see it coming. So that's cool.
Just jump down and stab you with a knife.
Yeah. Eddie, you got a baby Yoda in your bedroom.
Well, he's got kids. And he's a nerd, so yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, he's a nerd. Followed, Michael. And Autodrop 3D followed back too. Thank you, guys. What do you think, Aaron? We about coming to a close here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's time we can wrap her up, so.
Well, my kids are in bed. I got to take Elliot to go do soccer pictures for his soccer game in the morning at like 6:50 in the morning. 6:50 in the morning on a Saturday. I got to be at the soccer field. Man, that's lame.
Yeah, that's no.
I told the coaches, I said 6:50 in the morning, and she goes, "You're a teacher. You should be used to it." And it's not on a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. It's my day for sleeping.
That's the one day I don't gotta wake up early. Oh, man, wake up early. Dang, man.
That's when you got to pull a Chris Tucker. You must be out of your mind.
The link to my
right,
channel in the description is not working. I'll take a look at it, Michael, and I'll get it figured out. Speaking of locking kids in a closet.
Yeah, we'll look at that and do that squared away. But thank you everybody for joining us tonight for the AC show, the coolest show on YouTube. We greatly appreciate all 7 that I've seen as the highest popping in here and chatting with us. I mean, there's no agenda tonight, just talking, which sometimes is one of the best times to just sit and chat with people. So we greatly appreciate you guys, and I will follow AutoCAD and Michael back as well, because they had both followed me on Twitter. So yeah, everybody take care. Kathy, catch you on the flippity flip, and we will see you next week on his channel. So until then, everybody, happy making, take care, and we'll see you next week.